Is my Bloom chocolate ruined? Is my Bloom chocolate ruined? So this is a question we get literally all the time. A day doesn't go by that the alchemist doesn't have to put down a huge sack of beans and come to the computer to answer this question. And we get it. It's traumatic when you've put all that effort into making your chocolate only to find that it blooms and it continues to bloom and eventually becomes a piece of fractal art. It's upsetting. Because this is a question we get all the time, we could just refer you to the website. We could just say, go look at the answer we've already given 2,000 times. Or we could just say, no. Remelt your chocolate. Retemper your chocolate. Only better. All right, bye-bye. But wait a second. This seems like a really great opportunity for you to have a better understanding of what's happening inside your chocolate. What makes good chocolate? But to do that, we have to look at what Bloom chocolate really is, aside from being super fractal art, and it is, and admit that maybe we're asking the wrong questions. What if the question was, what is well-tempered chocolate? How would that change how we thought about things? Because it seems like if we understand what Bloom chocolate is, and we understand what well-tempered chocolate is, then we logically should understand if Bloom chocolate is ruined. So I guess we're going to have to get a little bit sciencey and try and figure this out. Yeah, science. Science. To figure this out, we've got to start where all good chocolate ends. Your mouth. Have you ever really stopped and considered the magic that's going on in your mouth when you put a piece of chocolate in it? In goes this solid material, and in a few seconds, it's liquid. Well, it's liquidy. It's liquidish. It's liquid. It's liquid. It melts. Let's say it melts. It melts in your mouth, but what is actually melting? The answer to that may surprise some of you. It's crystals. Okay. Maybe not the new age healing crystals, but crystalline structures. And these structures are all around us in the world, and we interact with them pretty much every single day. Ever made ice? You just tempered water. Whoa. Have you ever left your butter out on a hot day and came back to find it a soft mess of oils? You just watched the crystalline structures melt. A crystalline solid, like chocolate, or butter, or ice, is made solid by long chains of crystalline structures. They give it its shape, its texture, and its form, and are very, very heat sensitive. Change their temperature, and you change their state from solid to a liquid. Well, liquidy. Almost the exact same way chocolate melts in your nice warm mouth. Yeah, science. Let's do a practical example to help illustrate things. Typical chocolate can contain any combination of the 6 known types of crystal structures, and how these crystal structures are balanced, or how many of one type or other, is how we decide if chocolate is well tempered, or if it becomes fractal art. When you're tempering, what you're really doing is cultivating the type of crystals you want, and trying to minimize the ones you don't. You're farming crystals. And you didn't even know it. You'll have to forgive this lowbrow way of illustrating. I lobbied for a better prop budget, but the Alchemist wanted to go on a trip to Brazil. And he basically blew all our production money on Brazilian coffee, so he just left me with this pile of Tinker Toys to explain things. Okay, let's break it down. There are 6 types of crystals: type 1, type 2, type 3, type 4, type 5, and type 6. But to understand this, we only really care about type 4 and type 5. So first, let's build a chocolate bar with both types and see what we end up with. That didn't turn out great. Why? Having both types of crystals mixed together like this, there's no harmony. They don't fit together nicely at all. We have gaps and breaks, and it sort of developed randomly, which is much like bloomed chocolate. Okay, let's try again, but this time we're going to use mostly type 5 crystals. Wow, that's way better. There's harmony. Hopefully, even though the Alchemist used most of my prop budget up, you'll get the idea. It's simple, really. Well-tempered chocolate has long, beautiful chains of type 5 crystals whipping whatever other crystals are there into the right shape and texture. This world is basically mathematical magic. So remember back a while ago when we asked what was actually melting in your mouth? Do you know what it is now?
I've got it!
Right. I think we have all the pieces now. Here's what we know. 1. Solid chocolate is made up of long chains of various types of crystals. 2. If the chocolate has too many type 4 or not enough type 5, we end up with fractal art. Pretty, but nobody wants to eat it. 3. And now we know if you apply heat, which happens in your mouth, the crystals melt. So if all this is true, is your Bloom chocolate ruined? Of course not. Your crystal structures are out of harmony. We know that we can apply heat and just melt them away again. Then we can try to recultivate and try to get more harmony out of our temper. And this raises the last critical question, which might help you get a better temper, is how do you cultivate more type 5 crystals? The answer again is surprisingly simple. We seed the chocolate with the type of crystals we want. We give the untempered chocolate a blast of type 5 crystals so it can get building ahead quickly and not leave any room for other types to grow. And how do we do this? We do it with cocoa butter silk. Cocoa butter silk is simply cocoa butter that has been tempered itself, so it contains a bunch of type 5 crystals. Seeding your remelted chocolate with silk will give the type 5 crystals a leg up in the crystal wars and give you a much better shot at a beautiful and harmonious temper. I'm legally obligated to tell you that adding cocoa butter silk will increase the cocoa butter content of your chocolate. Duh. Okay, not legally, but the Alchemist is real strict about this science stuff. So now you have all the pieces, let's ask the questions again. What is bloomed chocolate? What is well-tempered chocolate? Is your Bloom chocolate ruined? I think that's it though. Wait, the Alchemist just reminded me there's going to be 100 comments below this asking about inclusions. Inclusions are just a chocolate geek way of saying you put raisins in your chocolate. So the question's going to be, I've got raisins in my chocolate and it bloomed. Is my chocolate ruined? Basically, your batch is ruined. You could remelt and strain, but I think life's too short for that. Next time, use silk and seed it. Your temper has a much better chance of turning out. You can click on the link above to learn about silk and buy some if you haven't already. And a fun fact, you can even make it yourself. The instructions are on our website. Roll the outro. Well, that was a little different from our regular videos. You know, with the Alchemist and I not living in the same cities, we have to be creative about how to make more videos without a million arduous trips. Hopefully you learned something, or at least stopped to consider things for a moment. We're going to try and do more of these over time. What'd you think? Was it good? Bad? Smash that like button if you liked it, double smash the dislike if you didn't. Seriously though, your thoughts do matter to us. We want to make videos that actually matter to you, that help you grow and get better at your craft. We eventually want you all to become alchemists yourselves. Also, right now I'm trying to talk the Alchemist into a regular season-based podcast. So if you think you'd like that, speak up. He sees all the comments, and if you're into it, let us know. Last thing, we have a bunch of other videos you might like. Maybe you're into the joy of chocolate. Or maybe you just want to learn how to make chocolate from start to finish. And for the builder geeks out there, maybe this video about the Alchemist modding a B-more will tickle your fancy. Okay, as the Alchemist always says, let's go make some chocolate.